Hello, everyone. As you know, recently I rated my classmates based on how well we do together in class, kind of. And today I thought instead of ranking them just for their person, how about I rank their quirks as well? So, first up, we have acid, a very useful quirk for dealing tons of damage at once, but it does have many drawbacks and it doesn't have a lot of other uses aside from hurting opponents. And for that, I put it at A. And next up, we have Voice. The ability to talk to animals is very useful, but it also is heavily dependent on what animals are in the area you're in. And for that, I give it a C tier. Next up, Creation. Depending on how well you are with it, you can create some very useful things, and for that, I'll give it S tier. Next up, my quirk, Dark Shadow. He's kind of annoying sometimes, but aside from that, he's very useful, and now that we found a way to fly, we have many different ways to use him, and for that, I give him an S tier. Next up, Duplo Arms. He the quirk itself is very cool and it does make for some useful abilities, but then again, it's not very useful for much else other than short ranged fighting and everyday tasks. And for that, I give it B tier. Next up, earphone jack. Depending on how it used, it could be very useful, and at the same time, it could be not useful because it could also easily hurt your allies as well as the opponent. And for that, I give it B tier. Electrification. It's a very useful quirk for it does have high damage output, but just like acid, it isn't really good for much else other than damaging opponents, but it does have much longer range, but it also does hurt the user, and for that, I give it B tier. Next, Engine. Engine is a very useful quirk, as Ida has shown many times throughout the show. Though, it does have drawbacks when going at full speed, as the user will not be able to move for a little bit, but aside from that, very versatile. Good for fighting, good for moving around, and for that, I give it A tier. Explosion. Explosion is probably one of the best quirks in the class. I'll say that now. But it is very loud, so it wouldn't be good at any missions that require you to be stealthy. But at the same time, its damage and ability for movement make up for it very well, giving it S tier. Next, Frog. Frog is a cool quirk, but and it is very useful for getting around and it has very good range, but it's not the best at hand-to-hand combat, and for that I give it A tier. Next up, half cold, half hot. It's another contender for the best quirk in the whole class, for you get to use fire and ice at the same time, and fire allows great output of damage, while ice allows great it allows you to be able to stop opponents as well as move around for the mobility factor, and for that I give it S tier. Next up, hardening. Hardening is another close combat quirk that has very short range, but it is very useful for fighting. But and it's also very good at protecting the user, and for that it gets B tier. Next up, invisibility. Without the ability to become visible, it is not able to become an S tier quirk. But at the same time, its ability for stealth is very unique, and that makes me want to give it A. Next, naval laser. It has too many drawbacks, and it's sometimes it isn't exactly accurate where it's shooting, and for that, I'll give it C. Last and next, One for All. Izuku, ever since he got the quirk, he's always been injuring his body every time he uses it, but as we see in All Might, it doesn't have to be that way as long as he works hard enough. And because of how long it, and because of all the quirks that it comes with now, I want to give it S tier for Danger Sense, Float, and Black Whip are very versatile quirks. So I'll give it S tier. Next, Sticky Balls. The name is something. And it is very good for trapping opponents, but it isn't the best, and that does make it decent at combat, but it isn't the best for well, the user does bounce off of them, yes, so it could be used for mobility. Honestly, a pretty solid quirk. For that, I'll give it I'll give it B tier. Next, Sugar Rush. Uh, the fact that that it requires you to consume sugar for it to work is quite the large drawback, as sugar also isn't healthy, and I don't believe it has anything to stop the effects of sugar in your body, and for that, I can not give it any more than C tier. Next, Tail. We've seen Ojiro use it in many unique ways that makes it look pretty good at combat, but aside from that, it's all it is really is a tail. So for that, I'll give it D. Next up, Tape. We've seen Sero use it for mobility in many amazing ways, and it's also good at trapping opponents, which could make it useful for combat. And for that, I'll give it B, just as sticky balls. And lastly, Zero Gravity. Very good for combat, for movement, and as we saw, well, I guess I didn't see that, so technically I shouldn't even bring it up. But we did see Toga was able to lift up the opponents so high that when they fell, they instantly died, and for that, it is a great combat quirk. But for all it's worth, I will give it A. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and